Good afternoon to everyone. Mr. Parag Sharma, President of WIPPA, all members of WIPPA, my colleagues from MNRE, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here today. Yes, the Honorable Minister was supposed to attend, but he's a little unwell, and that's the reason that he asked me to fill his shoes. And those shoes are actually pretty large to fill, as you're well aware. But I'll try my best. I'm very happy and, of course, delighted and thankful to WIPPA for inviting me here. Yeah, I know this is your 11th Foundation Day, and I hope that the last 10 years, 11 years, I think that you have been. You, of course, must have seen lots of ups and downs, twists and turns, but I think now we stand at a juncture which I think is very crucial for how we take the wind sector ahead from now till 2030, and of course, much beyond. Let me first congratulate WIPPA on celebrating your Foundation Day and organizing this event, your conference of 2024, with the tagline or goal of driving goals and gigawatts. I think that's the tagline and for discussion in your conference. On this 11th year celebration day, I would like to appreciate the progress WIPPA has made throughout these years. All these years by acting as a catalyst for change, advocating for wind energy development in particular, and renewable energy in general. So as we stand at this point in time in our collective efforts to combat climate change, the role played by the wind sector is crucial in shaping a cleaner and sustainable future. Energy transition is an important component in the overall framework of combating climate change, and we feel, and actually we are very convinced, especially in MNRE, that wind energy is indispensable for energy transition, not only in India, but globally as well. Mr. Parag Sharma, in his presentation, underscored why wind is so important, apart from so many other things that you do, but the fact that you are helping bridge the gap between the required storage energy in one respect to what is already there is, I think, very, very crucial. But more importantly, I would say that whichever goal we look at, whether it's 2030, whether we look at 2047, or whether 2070, I think we need to look at all aspects of energy, all kinds of energy, renewables, if we really want to make a difference to what we are doing. The global wind sector has made significant strides in recent years, thanks to the advancements in technology and a growing awareness of the environmental benefits of wind power. The global wind sector is growing at a year-on-year rate of 9%, with an addition of around 78 gigawatts in the last year, constituting the global installed wind energy capacity to over 900 gigawatts by December 2022. We still are shorter than what solar is, but we are here to stay. Let me, I must congratulate, and I don't think anybody can question the role of wind energy either in India or globally. India has also achieved a significant milestone in its wind energy capacity with, as was pointed out, with a cumulative addition of around 45 gigawatt by December this year. The year-on-year growth rate of wind energy is around 7%, which is close to the global rate. But I don't know whether we should be following the global rate as far as wind energy is concerned, with our large ambitions and our confidence in what the sector can do. I think 7% is the least that we can do. I think we should be definitely in multiple digits. And that's how I think all of you getting together on this Foundation Day celebrations and in this conference, and I'm sure you'll come out with some more ideas on how to take it forward. Of course, some have been outlined very lucidly in the presentation which was made. We've taken note of that. Some of the policies and regulatory interventions which have been somewhat mentioned here, and of course in the recent past, have given us a good momentum for the capacity addition. And we are expecting to achieve, of course, 110, Mr. Sharma said, but at least 100 is the kind of target we have by 2030. And I also must mention that this mix, which is required for India to achieve 500, it does change a bit based on, as we go ahead, CEA keeps optimizing its data and optimizing its forecast, and also forecasting what would be ideal for India. And therefore, this number may change. I mean, today is 2024. Maybe in 2025 or 2026, we may come to a different number. But today, as we stand, 100 gigawatts is something that we should definitely be looking at. Of course, he also pointed out, if you're at 45 or 44 and we've reached 100, and we have 6 years to go, it's so elementary math that we need to add 10 gigawatt a year. Now, as you would, many of you have probably been in the interaction that I have on a monthly basis. And we started this year with a target of 5+, 5.5, in fact, to be exact, because I remember that number, 5.5 gigawatts in this current financial year. But now, due to so many other factors, we may get to around 3.5. 4 seems to be a distant number currently. We still have 1.5 months to go, but as close as we can get to 4, I'll be happy. But our target in the beginning of the year was 5.5, and I hope that next year, when we begin a new year, new financial year on 1st of April, and we set a target for the next year, which is 24-25, I hope we'll be the target, of course, should be larger because of the interventions that not only government has made, but mostly what the projects that you have started or are planning to do. That number seems to be much higher. And of course, we should also be closer to that number by the end of the year than we are here today. But it's okay. It's not anybody's fault. It's like collectively there have been issues which we have tried to resolve. Some we have succeeded, some are work in progress. But of course, we continue to address those. And of course, looking at the suggestions which have been made, I think we need to keep working on that path and making sure that it becomes easier and easier for the projects to come on the ground. In some of the recent interventions which we made was, of course, the minimum share of consumption, the RPO, which we've mentioned under the Energy Conservation Act. I think that is going to be a significant lever in making sure that what we produce is what is bought and contracted by the DISCOMs. We started this year was a significant, I think the first year that we actually came out with a number, and a very large number for the bidding that we were going to undertake. We set a target of 50 gigawatts per year with at least 10 gigawatts of wind. And again, I mean, when we were formulating that number, the point was that if you really want to do 10 gigawatt a year, and even though there'll be captive and open access, there'll be other projects coming in, but until we push that big number of 10 gigawatts a year, how are we going to achieve 100 gigawatts by the end of 2030? And that was the reasoning behind coming out with a bidding target of 50 gigawatts a year. We've done about 30, 35 gigawatt of bidding overall with solar, wind, and hybrid and FDRE combined. We still have 1.5 months to go, but as you must have seen, and this is a closed room because you're all developed, many of you, you know that how the bidding is taking place, you know how much of bids are getting subscribed. So there is a gap between what we've, in many of those bids, between what we wanted to achieve in that bid and what has been subscribed. So there is a gap. There are different reasoning, of course, but in FDRE we are doing pretty well. And although a vanilla wind bid may not have been, may not be fully subscribed, but in FDRE, where it's almost like the total capacities are almost 3 times or more of what the contracted capacity is supposed to be, and much of it is wind. So therefore, the actual number of what we are able to generate, the kind of bids, the kind of capacities which will come up because of the bidding, where I'm sure will be closer to our target of 50 gigawatt and 10 gigawatt. The overall number may be slightly different, but again, our intention is not to just leave it as it is. We will tweak the policy based on how we are, what we are experiencing. Our intention will be very clearly to iron out the issues which are being faced and figure out how to take it forward. We will not let go of the bidding, target that we have. It may go up and down a little bit, but overall number has to be around 50. I mean, otherwise we really cannot achieve 500 unless we want to go that path. Of course, we also issued guidelines for tariff-based competitive bidding process for wind energy. But we are, again, let me also mention, this is an issue that we'll continue to look at. We'll see how we tweak it. No policy is permanent in that way. If we need to, we will take a re-look at that policy, but it's not going to be a quick thing. We'll examine everything and then take a view on how to do the competitive bidding. Of course, recently, thanks to the consultations we had with you, the suggestions we received, we have come out with the the wind repowering policy, which I believe is a good step to tapping the old turbines that we have and see how many of those can be upgraded, efficiency improved, replaced, repowered. But I think that's a good step, and therefore we hope to continue on that, and now we'll be try to track what is happening in that field as well. The concessional, of course, custom duty exemption has also been addressed in some way. The journey in wind energy manufacturing is more than 2 decades old, with a story of innovation, dedication, and progress. We have about 70 to 80% indigenization. We have seen a lot of technological upgradations, resulting in now we have a turbine of more than 5 megawatt being made in India, and I believe a lot of turbines of 4 megawatt are now being, have also started coming in, and this is a process which will continue. But it's important that we continue this, the manufacturing ecosystem as we proceed on the new, offshore wind initiative that we have taken. Right now, of course, most turbines are, of course, they're made for onshore. That's the kind of capacity they're looking at. And as was pointed out, we've come out with our offshore wind, bid for the non-VGF route through SECI. We have issued the NIT, the bids are coming out, will come out in detail. And as we go forward on that, I think you should look at that opportunity which is emerging. We also want to come out with a VGF. It's already been announced in the budget, a VGF for viability gap funding for the initial offshore wind projects of Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. And I think that is also an exciting opportunity which is emerging, and I hope that it'll enthuse you, and and want you to be ready for that as well, because that will come out as soon as the government approves the entire scheme, at which we are hopeful that it will happen very quickly. As far as our overall auction trajectory for offshore wind is concerned, we would like to take it forward not only in this decade and the next. We are open to discussions on how best to address the issues which will emerge. I think the strategy that we issued earlier, and then we've updated it in 2023. I feel, looking at the consultations we've had, I think we have addressed all the issues which we had felt, and of course the suggestions we have received. But of course we would like to take it as a dynamic process as we go ahead. I believe that through policy and the regulatory efforts that we are making, we assure you of a vibrant and thriving wind sector opportunity in this country. But our journey, of course, is far from over. We must continue to push the boundaries of what is possible, investing in cutting-edge technologies, and of course fostering collaborations between governments. On our part, from the MNRE part, wind is one of the sectors that we always talk about when we are discussing with our international partners, the countries, and we'll continue to go that path as well. We should not fail in adapting to technologies which are emerging. Offshore wind sector means that they are manufacturing sector in India. Wind manufacturing must get ready for the offshore wind demand which will emerge. We do not want to be dependent on imports for this crucial sector as well. And in fact, if you start making that ecosystem of manufacturing for the opportunities which are emerging, it will also hold you in big stead on taking it forward for even exports to other countries which are starting on offshore. In conclusion, let us use this conference as a platform to reaffirm our commitment to driving the goals of the wind energy sector. The time for action is now. It was never yesterday. It is, yesterday was, we already tried to do what we thought was important. But I think today, I think every day is a new day. When you look at what is happening, what was yesterday, and what is the new challenge or opportunity which is emerging, we must continue to innovate. And that's the only way that we can be successful. I congratulate WIPPA on this Foundation Day, 11th Foundation Day, and of course all the members of this August gathering who are members of WIPPA and other members of the industry. I wish you all the best for not only the deliberations, but also for the, hopefully we'll end on a much brighter note in the next 1.5 months than what I've outlined. And of course, I look forward to a very, very bright future, not only the next financial year, but of course in the coming years as well. So all the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your assurances. The wind industry expresses its gratitude to you for being an enabler and looks forward to breaking newer ground with your support and guidance. Yes, I request Parag, sir, to escort Mr. Jagdale, sir. We have something special for Shri Dinesh Jagdale, Joint Secretary, MNRE. Request him to please come on stage. The wind industry considers Shri Dinesh Jagdale, Joint Secretary, MNRE, to be its friend, its champion. We are grateful to you, sir, for walking the path with us in your role as Joint Secretary Wind in MNRE. Your steadfast belief in the wind sector and your wholehearted support in effective policy implementation in facilitating project execution have given us a firm footing. We thank you, sir. for your invaluable contribution to this sector and for gracing us with your presence today. We hope to carry forward your vision. A big round of applause.